Hey everybody, how's it going? So this video is actually coming from a stream that I just did last night. For everybody that joined me on the stream, thank you for joining me. So bring this all up because there's some new information that has came out since I have made since that stream happened last night. Now we're hearing that basically from Andre Pizzini, we are now hearing that the actual camera is going to be called the FX5. This is sort of be like a compact version of the Burano, what he is reporting it to be. Also, he is reporting it's going to be a brand new sensor that is going to be a global shutter sensor, which is going to be a very interesting opportunity. Now we know that, or at least what we are now hearing is that this is the rumored camera is going to be called the FX5. So if you hear me saying FX4 a lot, I'm talking pretty much about this camera. But just want to put this ahead, but let's go ahead right into the video. Pretty sure everybody, especially over the past couple days that we talk about, is that, as we know, rumor outlets, Andre Pizzini, he came back from vacation and then dropped some major news that he's getting word that, yes, a new FX camera is coming soon. This is something that he's been talking about. My guy Simon Yates, aka you guys know him as Ordinary Filmmaker. They've all been talking about that. There was in terms of looking to be an FX camera coming. Most people assumed this would be the FX3 Mark II, but now, as I'll put the article up, Andre came out last week and basically said, yes, there is. He's getting now started to get information of that a new FX is coming, but it is not the FX3. It looks to be something different. And also, some news just came out. There's another news thing that he broke today, so we'll get to that. But if you've been living on the rock for the past couple of days, there's now rumors coming out that Sony's getting ready to launch a new FX line, but it's going to be a completely different lineup. There's going to be, as he points out, it will not launch a new FX3 or FX2 successor. It will be a completely new kind of camera. It will be designed to compete against the Canon C50 is what he's reporting. It's not an evolution of any new camera. It's a major step forward. And it has a ton of new tech and also features as many of you requested over the past years. Many people saw this and was assuming that this would be, okay, oh, Sony's going to bring open gate. Okay, we're going to finally get open gate. And that look, it may be possible. Because it could be some people going wild. It's like maybe it's internal raw recording. Look, it could be possible as well. But it's interesting, and it's actually interesting because of the next article that I will show you that he released today, where he goes into our, and also just, I got the FX3 right here so I can kind of show, because he went into some of the new design features that he's being told of what's coming with the FX3. So I have this in here in my hand. And if you're wondering, because I normally have the FX3 as my camera for these streams, what's filming right now? Well, what's filming me right now is the cinema camera 6K full frame. Also, I have the autofocus on that as well. But let's cut to this real quick. And it's, as he points out, that was the news. So now the new item that he's talking about is the FX model is a modular camera that adopts an FX-like 3 style body, but moves away from the standard alpha camera design language. Its body layout and button configurations are more professional. The right side abandons the traditional button arrangement. The most notable change is that the removal of the standard direction control wheel in favor of an enter dial button. So, and if we'll scroll down here, he's referring to this. So if you guys see back here, so normally he's probably like, there's this like normal like alpha style dial wheel back here. It's so it looks like the design is going to be more akin to a Burano in terms of maybe the layout features. The big six menu is looking to be things that are sort of more aligned to like a big six menu. So even though it's going to be like an FX3 style body, but but the design thesis, we'll say, of this new camera is going to be more akin to the Burano and the Venice, which is a very interesting thing. Also, he points out that the threaded mounting points on this new body differs from the FX3. The top of the modular body supports an XLR handle, so as you guys can see, this will basically similar to this, but it will also support an external EVF and SDI expansions. It requires a new peripheral setup, as it points out, meaning any existing camera cages designed for the FX3 will not be compatible with this new camera. So basically, and that's essentially the gist of what he was posted. So it does. So is it possible that we'll get something like internal RAW recording? That may be a possibility because it seems like this new one is aligning a lot more with the Burano and the Venice, giving a more cohesive, I guess, symmetry to cinema cameras. And the fact that a lot of the body design is going to be more integrated with sort of the thesis of something like a Venice or a Burano, it seems like that's sort of the direction it's going to be that way, which is going to be very, very interesting. Now, I'll be honest, I don't know if they will I don't think they'll put internal RAW recording. I think it would be a really big benefit for Sony to do it, mainly because they're literally the only camera manufacturer. Actually, no, they're not. They're not the only camera manufacturer at this point. But there's a lot of camera manufacturers right now that have internal RAW recordings. You got Lumix, you got Blackmagic, you got Nikon, of course, with the adoption of Red, they got that, and Canon. Their key competitors all have internal RAW recording. So it would make sense for them to try to maybe build a system that design it. But I also, since it's looking to be a redesigning, a very different designing, sort of to compete against something like the C50, I'm also interested to see maybe there's also a redesign of media, meaning maybe this one is going to move away from CFexpress Type A, and at the very least, there may be one CFexpress Type B slot. Because if we get a CFexpress Type B slot, even though I'm pretty sure CFexpress Type A could handle raw data transfers, but if it was to move into CFexpress Type B, which is cheaper, but also it would provide a good signal that they are looking for internal RAW. But I'm just not sold on. I'm like, look, I'm not sold on that yet. So it's a wait and see. And also, again, this is very, very little things. So we don't know a lot about this camera. Obviously, OpenGate is probably what everybody is thinking because everybody has moved on to OpenGate. And I think the writing, so Sony's not dumb. Sony knows the writing is on the wall that they need to move into this market because they are getting left behind really, really quickly. As I think them and Nikon are right now the only brands, major brands at least, that it does not have an OpenGate support function. Because Canon, Lumix, Fujifilm, they all they have some sort of OpenGate board. And also I think what's also really pushing it is, smartphones with like Apple's iPhone 7 that lets you shoot OpenGate as well. And I also should point out that we'll get to the iPhone because I'm going to bring that up for the later discussions that I want to have. However, I will just say this: I think a Hue body design will be cool. However, if it's a body design and an open gate option, I personally don't know if it's enough for me to move on. I will say this: I think the FX3 is still an all around awesome camera. I have no qualms. I have never had issues with the image. I've never felt I needed more. So I don't need more megapixels. And let me, by the way, say this is just me. I know everybody's different. And if you guys feel different, please throw your opinions in the chat. That's what this is all for. Throw your opinions in the chat. Me personally, I just never feel the need to like have more Ks or more resolution or things like that. The 4K on this is not even the sensor technology. Oh, sure. It is. So is the RALX's sensor, and that sensor is still top dog. It's still like that. Its sensor is still like the most popular in film festivals and things like that. If the sensor technology is good, there's far more better investment in values that you can upgrade, whether if it's lenses, whether if it's audio equipment, whether if it's maybe the things like lighting, monitoring. There's so many different things that you can do to help not only improve your image, but also improve your experience that can go, to me, much farther and long term without having to drop multiple thousands of dollars. I'm assuming this is probably going to be around $4,000. Probably sit somewhere between the FX6 and the FX3, which means it's probably going to be around probably $4,500, $5,000. Which actually no, if what Andre is saying is true, now I think about it, it has to be around the $4,000 mark. It has to. Otherwise, it can't compete with the C50 at $3,900. It just can't. So also, a couple changes, since this is adding on to what I said in the streaming, is the fact that I no longer think this is going to be $4,000. I don't think this is competing with the C50. This sounds more like this is going to be a camera that's going to compete with the C80. So I'm assuming this is going to probably be around the 5,000, especially with the features that he's talking about it's going to be having. The fact that it's going to have a global shutter sensor, that it's going to be offering certain features we've been requesting, as I talk about in the video. But I think this is probably going to be closer to like the $5,000 price range, which it's going to be an interesting thing. I'm really curious to see what comes with this camera. We'll see more about it. But now you're talking about, if it is where I think it's going to be, which is more in the $5,000 price range, now we're talking about a camera that's competing with something like the PYXIS 12K. This is a camera that's competing with the Canon C80, the Canon C70, these types of cameras. Which is a totally different market and totally different types of cameras compared to something like the FX3. So we'll see, and we're also creeping into Komodo territory. But yeah, would it be open gate would be great? Yes. However, and I'll say this, and then I'm going to open this up and I'm going to check the chats and see things. I will just make this one final thing. If this is a whole new body, hey, I'm cool with that. But I will say this, Sony, and I'm looking right at you in the camera. If you put open gate on this camera, you best believe you better put open gate on the FX3. Because let's cut the BS. That's like the camera is more than capable than to process 4K open gate. We all know it. The processor is fast enough. The sensor technology, it's capable of doing it. Right now you even have the codec to do it with HEVC. You have an HEVC codec in there. So you could do open gate with the FX3. Even if maybe that you don't have the codec, or maybe there's a better codec. There's HEVC codecs like an HEVC 444, H.265 444 codec. You could put in there and do open gate, or 422 10-bit like Canon as well. Yes, if you put open gate in this new camera, great. but you best believe you better put this in the new camera, because if Sony doesn't put open gate in the FX3, I don't know what my next move will be, because I feel like that would be a slap in the face for a lot of people who've been supportive of the FX3 and still support it, and still a great camera. I want it to be max, just like the Cinema Camera 6K, which I'm filming on right now. I bought it at that discounted price at $1,600, but Blackmagic continues to update it. Right now, it has the autofocus. As you can see, I'm moving in and out. The autofocus is on, and it works great. They continue to develop it. I know that they're continuing to develop and add things in there, even though they still they have their RGBW sensor cameras. They're still updating it, continue to bring value. There is no reason. This is still a very, very popular camera. There is no reason to try to dead a very, very popular camera if you have the capabilities to continue its longevity. So I think it will be a very big problem for me personally if OpenGate comes out on this new FX camera, but they will not put it in the FX3 or even the FX2 or the FX30. Or even the FX6. Like, if you could put it in this new camera, it should go to all the FX series of cameras, especially the FX6 and the FX3, because we know for a fact that the processor can handle it, the sensor can handle it, the capabilities can handle it. So the ball is on Sony's hands.